بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. I was talking about the names of Surah al-Fateha, and again I lost the count. I don't remember. Maybe you remember how many names we have studied, but the next one, obviously, and the next one is a dua, which means the prayers. And the reason why is simple, because it has the prayers in it. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, till the end. That's the dua. The next name of Surah al-Fatiha is ash-shukr. Ash-shukr. Thankfulness, gratefulness.
16 and 17.
16 and 17, thank you. That's number 16, and this is number 17. And the 18th and the last name of Surah al-Fatiha is the famous one, which is Alhamd, the praise. Obviously, it teaches us how to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the 18 names. We are done with the names discussion of the surah, and now let's talk about the Makan al-Nuzul. Place of revelation. The place of revelation there are three aqwal and three statements about the revelation of Surah al-Fatiha. The first one says this surah is Makkiyah. Which means revealed in Makkah. The second statement says this is Madaniyah. Statement says that due to the importance, because of the importance and emphasis, this surah has been revealed twice. Once in Makkah, once in Medina. That's the third statement in the Tafseer. Most of the interpreters of Quran go for this statement number one. My teacher said this has no significance. in terms of the interpretation of the Holy Quran, interpretation of Surah al-Fatiha, this discussion has no significance in terms of the interpretation of Surah al-Fatiha. Whether the surah was revealed in Mecca or in Medina or in both the cities once, there is no significance in terms of the interpretation of the surah. So it won't have any impact on the interpretation based on that issue. So now let's talk about the reasons why most of the interpreters of Quran say it's revealed in Makkah. What are their evidences behind that? I would like to erase this. You want to take a picture? Thank you. Okay. The evidence is, the first evidence they have mentioned for that, evidence number 1, is that Allah has said in Surah al-Hijr, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي. So this is the verse from Surah al-Hijr, verse 87. Surah al-Hijr, verse 87. So here we learn in the light of this verse that definitely we have given you Sab'an min al-Masani, which stands for, Sab'an min al-Masani stands for Surah al-Fatiha. The Masani that has 7. So Masani, which has 7 verses, is the Surah al-Fatiha. And I mentioned to you earlier the Masani, my teacher said about that in the Tafseer, that this is that attribute of the Holy Quran, that certain verses of Quran are interpreting certain other verses of Quran. Because of this attribute of Quran, the term al-Masani is used. So Sab'an means 7, which means because Surah al-Fatiha has 7 verses. So Sab'an min al-Masani, this refers to Surah al-Fatiha, the 7 verses which are from Masani. Well, Quran al-Azim. So those people who believe it was revealed in Makkah, they use this verse of Surah al-Quran and say and say that Surah al-Fatiha is revealed in Makkah because Surah al-Hijr is revealed in Makkah, and that's confirmed that Surah al-Hijr is revealed in Makkah, and Surah al-Hijr talks about Surah al-Fatiha in it. So that's their first evidence that this is a surah revealed in Makkah. That's the evidence number 1. So, and also a point to note is that here the word ataynaka is used, which is the past tense of Arabic grammar. We have given you, so it's something in the past, right? So when Surah al-Hijr is a Makki surah revealed in Makkah, and it has a past tense used in that we have given you Sab'an min al-Mathani, which refers to Surah al-Fatiha. So this is the evidence they use, that Surah al-Fatiha is also a Makkiyya surah revealed in Makkah. That's their first evidence. The second evidence that these people have is the narrations. The narrations So we have hadith narrated from Sunni and Shia sources both, which says La salata illa bi Fatihatil Kitab. So there is no prayers without Fatihatil Kitab. No, there is no prayers without the Fatihatil Kitab. That's the hadith. There is no prayers without Fatihatil Kitab. So, and it's documented that Prophet used to pray even before the prayers was. Yes, we believe the prayers was legislated in the second Hijrah after migration from Makkah to Medina. And when Prophet went on Mi'raj, that's where it was legislated. But remember, when we are talking about that, I mentioned that it is legislated in this current form. In a different form, or whatever other form, whatever form it was, we don't know. But Prophet used to pray the prayers even before it was legislated in this current form. What was the form of the prayers of the Prophet? We don't know. But it's documented that he used to pray. All the previous prophets used to pray. Our Prophet also used to pray before it got legislated. Whatever form it was, but he used to pray. So and there's no prayers without Fatihatul Kitab. So when Prophet used to pray, it must be having Fatihatul Kitab inside his salah. He must be reciting Surah al-Fatiha inside the prayers. That's the second evidence these people they use. Now the reference for this hadith, La salata illa bi Fatihatil Kitab, this is narrated in Awalil li Ali. This hadith is narrated in Awalil li Ali 196. That's the reference of the hadith. Okay, so Salat was there before the migration as well. Prophet used to pray before migration as well. What was the form we don't know, but he used to pray, and prayers cannot happen without Fatiha. So Fatiha must be there already. That's how he used to pray with the Fatiha. And also another verse of Holy Quran talks about أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يَنْهَى أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يَنْهَى عَبْدًا إِذَا صَلَّى. That's another verses from the Holy Quran, and these verses are from Surah Alaq, verses 9 and 10. Surah Al-Alaq, which is confirmed to be revealed in Makkah, verses 9 and 10. So these two verses, we learn in the light of these two verses. Have you seen the one who stops that slave when he was praying? So, and these are verses of Surah Al-Alaq which are confirmed to be revealed in Makkah. And so even in Makkah the prayers was happening. These verses itself are evidence that the prayers were happening. Now what was the form? We don't know, but it was happening. And prayers cannot happen without the Fatiha. So that's their evidence that Surah Al-Fatiha is revealed in Makkah. The third evidence which these people use for their claim is, I'll write it here, evidence number 3. They use this hadith, which is narrated from Imam Ali alayhi salam, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. This hadith is narrated in the Sunni sources from Imam Ali alayhi salam, where according to their narration, Imam Ali alayhi salam said that نزلت فاتحة الكتاب بمكة. فاتحة الكتاب was revealed at Makkah من كنز تحت العرش, from a treasure under the arsh, under the throne. That's a narration from Imam Ali from the Sunni sources. Fatiha was revealed in Makkah from a treasure under the throne. That means under the throne of Allah. So this narration is narrated in Sunni Tafseer, Dur al-Mansur, volume 1, page 10. That's the reference. Dur al-Mansur, volume 1, page 10. So according to, based on this hadith and this narration, Imam Ali alayhi salam said Fatiha was revealed at Makkah from a treasure under the arsh. So again, the hadith is very, very clear that it is revealed in Makkah. There is a Shia narration as well, from the Shia sources, where Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, according to the Shia source, and let me write it here, or you can erase it, I think, and I write after you erase. So here is a Shia narration which also talks about the similar thing for awwalu ma. This narration is from Imam Ali Islam as well. For awwalu ma nuzzila or nazila, we can read it in both ways. Alayhi So this hadith from the Shia source also says that first thing that was revealed upon him at Makkah was Fatiha al-Kitab, that means Surah al-Fateha. So even from a Shia source we have a narration proving that. The reference of this hadith is Majma' al-Bayan 10-405. So also there is another hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, which from the Shia source, which says فَأَوَّلَ مَا نُزِّلَ ala Rasulillah. The first thing that was revealed on the Messenger of Allah, the Makkah, at Makkah, بعد أن نبتئ, after he was his official prophethood time started. We believe Prophet is born a prophet, but since the time the Bi'sat, official revelation from Allah to start officially start that stage. So that time we call it when he was officially declared to be a prophet, although prophet is always born as a prophet in our belief. So بعد أن نبئ الحمد. So the first thing that prophet that was revealed in Makkah was Surah al-Hamd. There's another hadith from our source as well, that's from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and the reference of this second hadith is Bihar 8252. So we have hadith from our sources as well. So, and this also gives us an idea that it's not only the Sunnis who claim that first surah revealed in the Prophet was Fatiha, but we have, this statement available in the Shia interpreters of Quran as well, who believe that Fatiha actually was the first surah revealed on the Prophet. Now there are obviously some scholars who say that Fatiha was actually the fifth surah in the sequence, not the first. It was revealed in Makkah, but it was fifth in the sequence. There are some who say that. What is the sequence? They say this is the sequence. First surah is Al-Alaq. The second surah revealed was Al-Qalam, Noon wal Qalam. The third surah that was revealed is Al-Muzzammil. That's the third one. And the fourth one that was revealed was Al-Muddassir. And the fifth one is Al-Fatiha. So there are scholars who say Surah al-Fatiha was revealed at Makkah, but it was actually fifth in the sequence, not the first. There are some who believe it's first, there are some who say it's fifth. And the sixth one in the sequence was Surah al-Masad. So these are the sequence. So these are the various aqwal and statements that I just mentioned to you about where Fatiha was revealed, Makkah or Medina or both.
This sequence assumes the entire surah was revealed or just parts?
Entire surah. Fatiha was revealed in one shot, complete, not in parts.
I mean the previous surahs, they were, according to that sequence, they were all revealed completely before Al-Fatiha?
Yeah. I will erase it to write some picture. Okay. Let's move to the next step. And the next thing about the number of verses of Surah al-Fatiha, another discussion where is interesting to know. Number of verses. Why is it a discussion? Because there is a controversy. That's why we are discussing it. Number of verses is confirmed to be 7 in Surah al-Fatiha. There is no doubt in that. But where do you define the line? Which sentence is counted as a verse and which sentence is not counted as a verse. That's where the controversy comes. Number is confirmed, it's 7. And we talked about the verse of Holy Quran, which is used by Sunnis and Shias both as an evidence. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي. We just talked about that minutes ago. So, in our side, in Shia belief, we believe that Bismillah Rahman Rahim is the verse number 1. Verse number 1 of Surah al-Fateha. Our side it's confirmed. We have authentic hadith that talks about that. Bismillah Rahman Rahim is the first ayat of Surah al-Fatiha. From our side, let me mention one hadith. Somebody asked Imam Ali alayhi salam, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, akhbirna an Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, ahiya min Fatihat al-Kitab. Somebody asked, ahiya min Fatihat al-Kitab, is Bismillah part of Surah al-Fatiha? And Imam Ali alayhi salam replies back, yes, كان he said كان رسول الله يقرأها كان رسول الله يقرأها ويعدها آية منها. He said, Prophet used to recite it and count it as an ayat of it. That means ayat of Fatiha. Prophet used to recite Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That means whenever Prophet used to recite Surah al-Fatiha, he also used to recite Bismillah and used to count it as part of Surah al-Fatiha, as hadith of Imam Ali. And this hadith is narrated in Tafseer Nur-u-Safran 1.9. Volume 1, page 9. Here's the clear evidence that Surah Bismillah is part of Surah al-Fatiha. So there's no question about counting Bismillah as ayat number 1. From our belief system, from our sources, we believe in what the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt say, right? So from our side, there is no controversy. Bismillah is first verse of Surah al-Fatiha and is part of Surah al-Fatiha. It's not just written for the sake of seeking blessings without considering it to be part of Quran. No, it is part of Quran and it's part of Surah al-Fatiha. It's not just for the sake of tabarruk and seeking blessings. Our Sunni brothers consider Bismillah to be part of Surah al-Fatiha, but they don't consider Bismillah to be part of any other surah. So if somebody recites Surah al-Fatiha in Salat, in the prayers, without reading Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, his recitation is batil, invalid, and thus, if he intentionally does that, the prayers will also become batil and invalid because he's intentionally messing up with a non-pillar wajib. Recitation of Quran is a wajib, it's a non-pillar wajib, but it's wajib. So if you intentionally mess up with a non-pillar wajib, your salat becomes batil. So if somebody intentionally does not recite Bismillah in the beginning of Surah al-Fatiha, inside the prayers, his salat will become batil. Because he did not recite Surah al-Fatiha. Dropping one verse equals to not reciting it completely, which you did not fulfill the conditions, so the salat will be batil. So now the controversy about where to count and where to draw the line is not about the number 7 like I said in the beginning, it's about where to count the end of the ayat. So those people who believe Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is the ayat number 1, they consider Sirat al-Ladina till the end as one long ayat. From Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. This whole long thing is counted as one long ayat of Quran from our belief system, because we consider Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim to be first ayat. So this whole thing is one ayat. That's how the number is 7. For those who disagree with that, they will consider Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. At an'amta alayhim, those people will end the ayat. And then from ghayril maghdubi alayhim, they will start a new ayat. So they will put the sign of ayat at an'amta alayhim, which we disagree with them. We consider the whole thing as one ayat. Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. This whole is one ayat. Is that clear?
So those people don't assume Basmala is the first ayat?
Yeah, because that's where the controversy still exists. Yes, they don't believe in Bismillah to be the first ayat.
And they don't necessarily.
There's a very small number of people, but yes, they don't believe.
But they don't read Bismillah also before.
In the prayers they do read,
Yeah.
but there's some who does not consider, they don't consider Bismillah to be first ayat. So they exclude it. They don't count this in their numbering. Bismillah is not counted in the numbering. They start counting from Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Then while the number 7 gets fulfilled, which everybody believes it's 7, then they put the mark of ayat at here, an'amta alayhim. They put another mark of the end of ayat here, which is not correct, but that's how they do it. So we don't put the end of ayat sign here, we put the end of ayat sign at the end. Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim, it still continues, ayat continues. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin.
The majority of the Sunni brothers count Basmala as the ayah for Fatiha.
Yeah, majority does that, but there's very small number.
I think this is وَيَعُدُّهَا.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot that. Thank you. So, yeah, this is about the number of ayat. Now we'll go to the Ghurarul Ayat, inshallah, in the next class. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.